Hey, welcome back to Shane's Main Shop. Today I'm going to show you how to change the blade in a Stanley 99A utility knife. So we all know a dull blade is a dangerous blade. The question is, how do I change a blade in one of these very basic Stanley utility knives? Today I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a very easy process, but it can go a long way to keep you safe and keep you from cutting yourself. Believe it or not, a sharper blade is much better and safer than a dull one. These blades only consist of about 4 or 5 pieces. You got a clip ring here if you want to attach to something. You have a left and a right side casing. You have the extending knob, a screw that takes it all apart, and that's really about it. So it's pretty straightforward. Just want to take this screw out. Once you have that out, just set it aside. Then this is going to come apart, and this one is in rough shape inside, but there it is. Now there are some blades stored in here, but I'm just going to get a brand new one. Now let me just show you a couple things. So let's just take a minute to look at the inner workings here real quick. If you push down on this here, like when it was closed, that's what allows it to go out, and you can see it locks into different positions. That's how that works. And the closed position. Take the blade out. All you're going to do is put your thumb over these blades so they don't fall out, and then just tip that one out and set that aside. Now, it looks like this one here has not been used on the other side, so I can just flip this around and use the other side, because these are two-sided blades, and you have a place here for storage of some blades as well. So you'll notice there's 2 notches on top of this blade. One is for when it's in this way, and one is for when it's in this way, because there is a little notch in this little sliding mechanism which indexes right into that and allows it to push that blade in and out. So depending on which way it's in, then depends on which one you're using. If you're using this side of the blade, you're using the back notch on the blade itself. And then you can see it's ready to go again. And then all you're going to do is make sure everything's in position. Take your top, slide it back over here like this. Make sure it's all locked in like that. It's just a matter of wiggling around until it lines up. And then you're going to go ahead and put your screw back in the housing. Just like that. And your blade is ready to go again. I just wanted to take a minute here to show you there are several other options out there as well. This was the one I changed, was the 99A. You'll also have a 10-099, which is very similar but a little bit different. It's a much lighter weight one in this particular case, but the process of changing the blade is pretty much identical. Then you have this Stanley here. This is a Stanley 10-788. This one here has a little bit different features. So this one comes apart quite a bit different. So you have this button in the back here you can push, which opens up this compartment here. And I think you can put spare blades in here. I'm not sure. I've never had spare blades. I don't use this knife very often, but I just want to show you how it opens up. And it does have another pretty neat feature I'll show you as well. For this one, there is no screw in the middle like you see on these ones, but there is 2 other screws. One of them is right here, and we'll go ahead and remove that one. And this screw is actually still exposed when this is closed. However, when you flip it over, once you open this, you can see it exposes this screw right here. So we're going to go ahead and take that one out. There's a little bit more to this one as far as changing the blade. Then this comes apart by opening up this way. So when you open this up, once you get that screw out, you can see this stops right here, but you got to pull it a little bit further to get it all the way out, which then will allow this to come apart. Fairly similar to the other ones once you get to this point. And then you just take this and you can set it off to the other side, just like that. So now you got it apart quite a bit, and you can see the blade mechanism is very similar. It's got your blade has 2 notches, got the little indexing spot right there. So if you flip the blade over, and it sits in there, and the same thing, you push this down to get the blade out and back in when you want it in. So that's how you would change the blade on this one. So let me get this together. I'm going to show you one other really cool feature this has. You can see the blade right here is along the bottom here. And if you look closely, there's an opening right here. It goes right up to that blade. So let me show you how that works. I'll go ahead and keep the camera rolling so you can see how to put it back together. You have a little tab right there that has the lock behind that. Whoops. So you're just going to take and stick that down. Oops, let's get that back in place. Get that tab locked underneath there, as well as the one down bottom. And then that'll sit back in position, like so. But you got to make sure the handle is in there first. Because the handle is gripped by these two parts in between there. So that's back in position. Then we'll put this screw here back in. Before you put this screw in, you got to make sure that back handle's in, and you got to make sure this one is in place as well, because it pinches on each side of these little tabs right there. So just open this up a little bit, get that in there like that. Then you can go ahead, make sure it's nice and snug and all together. Then you can go ahead and put this other screw in here. Once that screws in, you can go ahead and pop that back into its regular position. In fact, you can go ahead and close it right up. Flip it over and put this screw back in. Okay, it's all back together. Now, remember I was telling you about that blade, that little slot. You can see it right there. You probably can see a little glimmering of blade. Now, you can put this in a position so it's closed off, that you can't see it. It's protected. But with the blade all the way back in the fully retracted position, it actually allows some of the blade to be exposed right there. And you can use that for cutting. If you don't want to extend this thing all the way out to cut something small, like a piece of string, and you want to cut some string off, you can just drop the string down in there and cut it off. Or not. It might be a dull blade. All right, so you can see it's got a little spot there that I was showing you when I had it apart. The blade's exposed. And you can use that for cutting small stuff if you don't want to extend the blade out like that. You do have some blade exposed right there that it can be used for cutting small things that can fit inside there. So hopefully that gives you a couple options that shows you some options that are out there, and also how to change a blade in a couple different knives. Now I do want to show you one more here. This one here is a fixed blade. There is no sliding mechanism. It stays fixed in this open position. This is probably what somebody would be basically uses their knife as their primary tool, and they're not going to be opening and closing all the time. They probably would have a leather pouch on this side that this would slide down into and keep that blade protected from getting banged up and from cutting yourself. But to change this blade, pretty straightforward. And this, by the way, is the Stanley 10-299. And Stanley, and there's other companies too that make tons of different blades, different cutters out there. This is just a few I had right here handy. You take that one screw and it's going to come apart. And there you go. You have your blade just sits there. It's indexed on 2 notches and out of 3. But I think it'll take the 2-notch blades too. I'm only wondering that because I see a 2-notch blade in here, because there's some 3-notch ones that are in here. I see this one on top. Let's see if that'll actually work. There's 2 blades here. I gotta get it apart. Well, I don't have to get it apart to see if it'll work. Yeah, 2-notch blade would work as well in this particular knife, no problem. So I don't know why these blades here are probably designed for something else. But yeah, that's how you can change the blade in these. In fact, while I have it open, I'm going to go ahead and change this one. Blades come with a little bit of oil on them many times, a very small amount, and it just helps stop them from rusting. We'll get rid of that one. And we're just going to go ahead, put this back on there, screw back in, and tighten it up. So there you have it. There's several different options out there for knives. I'll put a link in the description for some Stanley knives.
But basically these are four here, but three different kinds. These two are pretty much identical. And then you have this fixed blade version and this much more robust, bigger handle, extra little cutting spot. But it is a little bit more work to open this thing up and change the blades. Not that big a deal. All right, I hope you liked this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Make sure you have sharp knives and blades in your knives so they are much safer to use that way. Most of you watching this video are not subscribers. So please, or at least most of you that watch my videos are not subscribers, please take a minute to hit that subscribe button. It's probably the best thing you can do to help me out. Plus, like the video if you liked it. And comment is always great. I try to respond to pretty much every single comment. Thank you for swinging by today. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.
Well, thanks again for swinging by Shane's main shop. I hope you liked that video. Make sure you come back. I have a lot more videos. But you know, there's another channel out there that's got a lot of videos as well, and a pretty good variety, and that is The Art of Doing. His name is Ben. He sent me this shirt quite a while back, and he's still growing his channel. To swing over to Ben's channel, The Art of Doing, he has a nice variety of different topics he does. Really just trying to inspire people to try different things that they may not have tried before. In one case, for me, it was helping train this dog right here, Layla, who is an 80-pound German Shepherd. He has a great video on leash training, but he also has videos on a lot of other stuff. I encourage you to swing over there, show him some love, click like on his channel, subscribe to him, and see if there's some stuff over there you might be interested in as well. But I will put a link in the description. This is Shane's main shop, but I want you to check out The Art of Doing. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. You ready to play, Layla?